Hi there, hope you're having a good day. Welcome back to another video. Today we'll be talking about the wave weight 12. So it should be priced at $225 on their official site, waveweight.com, same as the waveweight 10 and 11. I think these guys need no further introduction. It's their flagship model, their most expensive shoe, over 200 bucks. That's honestly nasty. Think about these as their Air Jordans. Think about iPhones to Apple, or how important balls are to Spalding. Whatever the newest, most advanced technology the brand has to offer, they'll usually throw them out onto the main waveweight model. Sometimes it could become an overload. Previously, the Wild 10 has been the biggest success of any Chinese company at making a performance basketball shoe. Can the 12 beat the 10? In this case, I think I'll just let it roll and we'll decide together in the end. As to how the waveweight 12 performs, cushion is fantastic, super bouncy. Simply put, it's got super boom, double layered super boom. They put a carbon fiber plate in there. The foam carrier is also super boom, I believe. But we've seen a lot of brands approach the dual density concept by wrapping a softer foam inside of a harder outer shell. In waveweight's case, sometimes they use their light foam plus as the firm carrier foam. However, this is their softest, lightest, bounciest type of foam all over. The official tech specs have not been released yet, but I think one has to be super boom given how light the shoe is. When you have this much bounce in the midsole at such low weight, that's easy to tell. Two, I could feel the springiness from the plate inside, also the deliciousness from the foam. So it's got to be some sort of sandwich construction similar to the waveweight 11. With the difference being this time it's super boom instead of regular boom. For those who have played in the Joker 1 and Joker 1 GT before, you can expect the same level of underfoot cushion here, and that means top of the market level of bounce and responsiveness. It presses down by a good amount in the heel, a lot of bounce back, and man, I am exaggerating, but you'll feel like you're teleporting with this setup. Stepping on a cloud might even be an understatement. Smoother transition from front to back versus the waveweight 10. Surprisingly, the carbon fiber plate did not affect the smoothness on feet. This here surrounding the heel is not a clip, but rather a layer or paper, we can say. Thank goodness they didn't throw a piece of plate on here. That would have ruined it. Yeah, they didn't add too much unnecessary stuff. All that is achieved while keeping the weight at a minimum. Only about 370 grams-ish for size 10.5. That's crazy. It is the lightest model from the main waveweight series. Lighter than the Wild 10 and 11 for sure. Even lighter than their 808 Ultra, Shadow 7, D-Lo 1, you name it. Traction is excellent as well. This is their GCU Outsole. Compared to traditional rubber, it gets you to a harder stop on indoor courts. Very loud and squeaky, consistently grippy. Didn't need any break-in time. Good to go for me right from the start. Downside, you might be able to tell on the screen here, this also feels a little bit too soft. So I'm concerned about durability. Probably won't last very well against rough court conditions. That means it's a no-go for outdoor use. For indoors, it's top tier. We see herringbone in the forefoot and rear foot. The most important areas are covered by a safe traction pattern. They do pick up dust. You need to wipe it out from time to time for the best experience. So compared to the Joker 1 GT also, that one stays immaculate even on dusty courts. This one isn't like a Jaylen Brown hairline kind of situation, but it does take a tiny bit of struggle if you normally play on very dusty courts. Anyways, it might sound like I'm nitpicking here. Remember how D-Wade put out that 9 in the dunk contest? I don't know, because I've seen a few 10s this year. Joker 1 GT, down issue 7. This is close to being perfect, but be aware of dust pickup and do not redeem for outdoor courts. For sizing, I would recommend going with your true size. Width is about average, based on my experience. Waveweight 10 runs tight, 808 runs long, D-Lo 1 and Shadow 6 V2 run narrow. This is actually their most ideal fit, and you can safely go ahead with your normal sneaker size. Those with very wide feet, you can perhaps consider going half size up to be safe. But for the majority of people, I think going true to size will give you a secure fit and good lockdown. Quick comparison, the Wild 10 has a flat toe bounce, narrow midfoot. So if you have wide feet, flat feet, high volume feet, I think sizing up is almost a must. Till this day, I can make a movie about how hard it is to put my feet inside the Waveway 10 every single time, even after sizing up. The 12 doesn't squeeze your feet in the middle section. A lot more forgiving. Better step-in comfort too, so I stayed true to size. Material, let me just start by saying this is the most comfortable toe box I've ever experienced on any basketball shoe, or maybe even any sneaker in general. This is mad comfy. It conforms to my movements extremely well. Very flexible. Compared to the previous model, this has better breathability. Not because they opened up certain areas with the mesh window, not because they added more ventilation holes. It more so has to do with this material having a nice cooling effect. My feet really didn't heat up too much inside, and that's great news. Once again, I just can't stop touching the toe box. It feels so nice. They used a thermoplastic material, and that turned out to be wonderful comfort-wise. I'm not so much worried about creasing. I think that was a bigger issue on the 11. This here stays in shape nicely. I know we've seen bouncy hoop shoes because of the midsole, obviously. Have you heard of a bouncy upper? Me neither. This is the first time I would describe an upper on a shoe being bouncy. Like it flows together with your feet as you bend it or twist it. Then it quickly bounces back to its original form. Sheesh. One more thing that I was wrong about, I was making fun of this shoe being too simple and plain, that it doesn't even look like it has any padding inside. Nope, that is not the case. Very well padded on the interior. It's like a nice quilted finish. Hugs my ankle with no pinching, no heel slippage. Kinda in between a mid and low cut, probably more of a mid. Support is sufficient, stable enough for a lightweight shoe. Laces are a little bit too long, but you can always double loop. As a flagship model, it's got plenty of details. This one I have is the statue colorway. Man, it's a lot more beautiful than that. The shiny and glossy purple logo clip. So many more colorways to come. Inside the shoebox, you got a little dust bag, some attachments. There's like a hang tag, and infinity stone, well presented, very elegant. I myself turned from being a hater on that simplicity to now someone who glazes this product. And as their core product, the 12 feels closer to the 11 than it is to the 10. More of a foamy effect, lighter than both. So the question on whether this can be the 10 and 11, factoring in my recency bias here, I definitely think so, yes. Let me put it this way. Every major benefit that the 10 offers, the 12 matches it, and it's not so high off the ground, so the adjustment time needed is a lot less. Well, it's still not ideal for outdoors, but given the price, we'll use it on the important and right occasions. Say a men's league playoff game, a sesh with a group of friends who you want to flash these right at them. An indoor court with big bright LED lights. I'm not stepping outside with these this time. Overall, I mean, this goes automatically to the S tier, performance-wise. Top tier cushion, top tier traction. Materials are so nice and comfy, functional. A few things that I was skeptical about based on the online images weren't even an issue at all here, as they turned out. I would just strongly recommend that you avoid it for outdoor use. Really don't think this outsole is gonna last very well against rough court conditions. That's pretty much it. I do like it a little bit more than the Waveway 11. In terms of fit, this is a lot closer to normal compared to the Wild 10 if you don't want to end up with platypus on feet. And I do prefer how nicely my feet are contained inside. Smoother ride, better overall, maybe, yes. This is what luxury feels like for hoopers. Good for any level of players, in my opinion. Anyways, enough said, I think. So far, so delicious. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Waveway 12, however. Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.